burn, I'ma make it 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 burn.
Lau Bun, a second-generation master of the Fut Song Great Victory lineage, holds a distinguished place in the history of Chinese martial arts in America. Born in 1891 during the late Qing Dynasty in Toisan, a counter-level city in Guangdong, China, he was raised in a privileged household and developed a deep fascination with martial arts from an early age. His journey began with Fut Gar, the most widely practiced system of the time, and his skill quickly set him apart. Lau Bun is credited as the first to establish a lasting Chinese martial arts school in the continental United States, creating a semi-public platform for instruction. He taught an early form of the Great Victory Fut Gar, also known as Great Victory Choy Li Fut, a system founded by Chung Sing. This contribution cemented his legacy within American martial arts history. In his youth, Lau Bun's confidence in Fut Gar was unmatched. One day, while on his way to meet friend for lunch, he encountered two men wielding long poles. Using his Fut Gar skills, he effortlessly overpowered them, his victory further boosting his self-assurance. When he shared the incident with his friends at the restaurant, they celebrated his triumph. However, one friend, a practitioner of Great Victory Fut Gar, was curious to test Lau Bun's abilities and challenge him to a friendly match. Certain of his skills, Lau Bun accepted without hesitation. As they squared off, a fast-paced exchange of strikes unfolded, captivating the onlookers. Though Lau Bun fought well, he ultimately lost to his friend. Rather than being discouraged, he was deeply intrigued. Determined to learn the system that had bested him, he pressed his friend for the name of his teacher, eager to become a student regardless of the obstacles. Eventually, his friend revealed that his teacher was Master Yuan Hai, a first-generation senior disciple of the Fut Song Great Victory School under Chung Sing. However, there was a complication. Master Yuan Hai had retired. Undeterred, Lau Bun resolved to study under him no matter what it took. At the time, Master Yuan Hai lived with his wife in Guangzhou. One day, Lau Bun appeared at his doorstep, pleading to be accepted as his final disciple. Though the old master initially refused, Lau Bun remained persistent. He even made a solemn promise. If Master Yuan Hai agreed to teach him, he would provide him and his wife with a home in Toisan, covering their living expenses for the rest of their days. After much deliberation, Master Yuan Hai and his wife agreed, and arrangements were made for them to relocate to Toisan. This decision benefited all involved, ensuring the master's well-being while granting Lau Bun access to the knowledge he so desperately sought. At the time, Great Victory Fut Gar had been in existence for about 50 years and was still evolving. As a first-generation disciple, Master Yuan Hai passed down the techniques he had learned directly from Chung Sing. Under his guidance, Lau Bun trained in all the hand-formed practice at the Fut Song Great Victory School, including long fist, level fist, trapping and striking, and cross pattern. The system's forms were intentionally kept concise, emphasizing practical application and combat effectiveness. In addition to hand techniques, Lau Bun studied various weapons, such as a single and double-ended staff, sword and shield, butterfly knives, steel whips, and tiger fork. Among these, he had a particular affinity for the Don Do sword, a skill that later earned him the nickname Don Do Bun among his students. Beyond martial techniques, Lau Bun also learned the traditional medicinal formulas and bone-setting methods of the Hung Sing lineage. He trained with relentless dedication, believing that true mastery came only through hard work and perseverance. Sometime between 1910 and 1920, his training came to an end with the passing of Master Yuan Hai. Not long after, Simo Yuan, Master Yuan Hai's wife, revealed something unexpected. She was a daughter of renowned Northern Shaolin practitioners. Though she had never taken a student before, she chose to pass on a rare 5-animal form to Lau Bun as a gesture of gratitude for his care and devotion to her and her husband. Lau Bun was shocked to learn of her martial background, as she had never spoken of it before. According to accounts from one of Lau Bun's later students, Simo Yuan was highly skilled, even capable of running up walls. Some stories claim she once seriously injured Master Yuan Hai's son when he attacked her, leaving him permanently disabled. Regardless of these tales, Lau Bun humbly accepted her teachings, becoming her sole disciple. It is believed that she passed away not long after sharing this treasured form with him. By the 1920s, life in China was growing increasingly unstable. Many of Lau Bun's countrymen sought refuge abroad, escaping the turmoil. Eventually, he too decided to leave, setting his sights on America. With no intention of returning, he boarded a ship and embarked on the journey that would define the next chapter of his life. Upon arriving in the early 1920s, Lau Bun crossed the border from Mexico into the United States under the name Wong On Lo, as recorded on his death certificate. While little is known about his time in Mexico, some accounts suggest he shared his kung fu knowledge with the local Chinese community. There are even claims that during this period, he taught martial arts to a young Anthony Quinn, the future Hollywood actor of Mexican heritage. With the steady influx of Chinese immigrants into the United States, various tongs were formed to provide social and financial support to newcomers. Many Chinese aligned themselves with organizations such as the Gi Kung Tong or Hop Sing Tong. Due to his martial expertise, Lau Bun was recruited by the Hop Sing Tong as a bodyguard and bouncer at a gambling establishment. However, a violent confrontation with law enforcement forced him to flee Los Angeles for San Francisco. During the 1920s and 1930s, life for Chinese immigrants in America was fraught with danger. Discrimination was rampant, and racial violence against them was common. Lau Bun was well aware of the brutality inflicted by white police officers on the Chinese community. Though the exact details remain unclear, he found himself pursued by the police inside a gambling hall. Trapped in a bathroom, he faced at least 4 officers who intended to subdue him. In a desperate struggle for survival, he fought back with his martial skills, managing to incapacitate 2 officers before escaping. Seizing his opportunity, he leaped from a second-story window into a truck bed filled with hay. Hidden beneath the hay, he rode undetected as the truck made its way out of the area. When it finally stopped near a farm, he cautiously emerged, spotted another Chinese man nearby, and sprinted toward him. The man agreed to help and escorted Lau Bun back to the Hop Sing Tong in Los Angeles. Realizing the urgency of his situation, the Tong arranged for him to relocate to San Francisco around 1931. At the time, the city was a hotspot for rival Tongs, with violent conflicts frequently breaking out between them. The Hop Sing Tong, eager to gain an advantage, sought a martial arts master to train their members. Between 1931 and 1939, Lau Bun exclusively taught Great Victory Fut Gar to Hop Sing Tong members. However, in 1939, due to rising demand, he formally established a martial arts school called Kwoon, or the Strong Chinese School, to teach the system to the Chinatown community. Admission was strictly limited to those of Chinese descent. Still, exceptions were made for select few, including a Hawaiian man, and, reportedly, the famous Mexican actor, Anthony Quinn. Before the arrival of other kung fu masters like T.Y. Wong, Lau Bun was the only recognized kung fu instructor in the Bay Area. According to one of his longtime students, Professor Ju Leong, while there may have been other martial artists in America at the time, none were actively teaching. This made Lau Bun the pioneering force behind Chinese martial arts in the United States. Around 1950 or 1951, the school's name was changed from Kwoon to Hung Sing Kwoon to better reflect its authentic lineage. However, entry remained exclusive. Prospective students needed recommendations, and Lau Bun personally screened each applicant before granting them admission. Lau Bun's teachings were deeply rooted in the belief that his fellow countrymen needed the skills to protect themselves. To preserve these traditions, he maintained a strict policy. If a non-Chinese person entered the school, training would immediately stop, and students were instructed not to answer any questions. As his legacy took root, his impact on martial arts in America would continue to grow, setting the stage for the next chapter of his story. Professor Lau Bun's legacy is not just rooted in his martial prowess, but in the deep and lasting impact he had on those who studied under him. He was more than a teacher. He was a mentor, a philosopher, and a community leader. His contributions to the martial arts community especially within Chinatown, have left an indelible mark on the landscape of Chinese martial arts in America. While his life was marked by hard work, discipline, and unwavering dedication to his craft, Lau Bun was also a man of depth and character, with many layers to his persona. His love for music, calligraphy, and philosophy demonstrated that his world was not limited to combat alone. He found ways to enrich the lives of his students beyond martial arts training, sharing wisdom through music and guiding young minds with his lessons on life and character. His calligraphy was a reflection of his precision and commitment, just as his martial arts were. The Hung Sing couplets in his studio stand is a testament to his discipline, linking the art of the brush with the art of the fist. His butterfly harp performances brought a sense of joy and connection to the children of his students, creating a bond that extended beyond the martial arts community. Even as a teacher of martial arts, he remained grounded in his belief that true mastery was not about the form but about the techniques that served real-world purposes. His guidance went beyond merely perfecting strikes and stances. It was about preparing his students for real-life challenges, ensuring they could defend themselves when the need arose. He always kept the essence of true intent alive in his teachings, reminding his students to never use their skills recklessly. In 1959, a 19-year-old Bruce Lee, full of youthful energy and ambition, made his way back to San Francisco, the city of his birth. Armed with big dreams, he believed he was destined to introduce Kung Fu to America. His first order of business was to find out who the top figures in Chinatown's martial arts scene were. So he began asking around. It didn't take long for him to uncover the name that stood above all others, Professor Lau Bun, the revered head of the Chinatown Kung Fu world. Bruce Lee, ever confident in his abilities, thought it would be a good idea to visit the famed Hung Sing Kwoon and challenge the 69-year-old legend himself. What followed, however, would be an encounter that Bruce likely never forgot. The young martial artist walked into the school, brimming with confidence, and boldly issued his challenge. Professor Lau Bun, now an elderly man, stood his ground and responded without a second of hesitation. "Boy, I'm an old man now," he said. "I will not play with you. I will kill you." The gravity of Lau Bun's words hung in the air, but the master wasn't finished. In a calm but deeply authoritative voice, he proceeded to lecture Bruce Lee about the respect owed to the legacy of Yip Man and the martial traditions that came before him. He wasn't just warning Bruce Lee. He was teaching him a hard lesson in humility, reminding him of the deeper values that Kung Fu represents beyond just physical skill. In that moment, Bruce Lee, though brash and eager to prove himself, understood the weight of his mistake. With no further words exchanged, he turned and walked out of the Hung Sing Kwoon. While the details of their relationship beyond this encounter remain largely untold, this meeting left a lasting impact on the young martial artist. Bruce Lee may have come seeking a challenge, but instead, he left with a lesson that would help shape his path toward becoming the icon he's remembered as today. The loss of Professor Lau Bun in 1967 was a blow to his community, but his legacy lives on through the countless students who carry forward his teachings. His contributions to the evolution of the Fut Song Great Victory Choy Li Fut system and his adaptation of it to suit the needs and abilities of each individual student ensured that his methods would continue to thrive long after his passing. As a patriarch of American Kung Fu, Professor Lau Bun's memory is etched in the history of martial arts. His lessons continue to be passed down, ensuring that future generations of martial artists, no matter where they are, will benefit from the wisdom and experience of a true master. His life is a shining example of what it means to be a martial artist, strong in body, sharp in mind, and compassionate in spirit. Through his students, his family, and his teachings, Professor Lau Bun's legacy will live on for generations to come, solidifying his place as one of the most revered martial arts masters in the history of Chinese martial arts in the United States. Thank you for watching this tribute to America's Kung Fu patriarch. This was a Sifu Frame production. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe.